So I have one more request from leftover from the live stream that I need to get done. And so this is from Sir Burrito, who has been giving me some really great requests. And I've heard of Marlon Craft. I don't know who he is. This is called Gang. Just because it's in the first couple seconds. I don't want to get immediately limited. I'll leave that for the middle of the video, you know? That being said, the original is in the description down below. Please go give it a comment, a like, watch time, all that stuff. Go check it out. If you want to watch it uninterrupted without me yammering on, please feel free. It's in the description down below. That being said, Marlon Craft, gang ish. You ready? I'm ready. Wait, no, I'm not. It's muted. Let's try that again. One more time.
My name John and I'm a city cop, and I'm just tired of these let me not. They try to paint me as racist, but see I'm really not. Call me pork, so I put them on they belly at every stop. And they scared, what a joke, how about how I feel? Check the crime rate, look at my eyes behind my shield. I'm scared, this is a job, this how I find my meal. So if they gon' lie and steal, I'ma make them lie from still. And I think my life do matter more. I seen too many of these people kill without remorse. Used to be 3/5 of a man, but I think half is more accurate. How they celebrate savageness in a patterned form. My family raised me not to trust them. Fuck you, they ain't wrong. These other cops are my brothers, and they be wishing us harm. They told me that it's our culture to make sure that they suffer, and I can't break the bond. It's all I got. I'm faithful, dog. Shit. I bleed blue like I'm a Giants fan. To question my ways, to stop flowing my veins. So I ain't slowing the day. I'ma keep everyone safe from these black bastards. And that's word to my gang, gang, gang. I'm just riding for my gang, 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 gang.
I don't know what I thought it was gonna be.
I'm just riding for my gang, 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 gang.
Before it goes any further, I understand the perspective that this is coming from. I know nothing about this artist. I don't know. I don't think that guy's the artist, is he? There's no way. There's no way. Hold on. Yeah, it's that guy. Okay. I was gonna say, I didn't think this guy was the artist. It just didn't make sense. But basically, he's riding for his people, his family, his co-workers that put their lives on the line. And, you know, that type of job creates biases because you see the worst of the worst. The same as if you work like in a hospital. And let's say you work in a hospital where you constantly see people abusing the system, you know. And I've been to doctors where I actually had issues. I had to end up taking Celebrex after my second child, and I couldn't even extend my elbows. It was a whole thing. But then they were just treated me like I was, you know, drug seeking because they're used to seeing that, and that there was no explanation or reason behind it. Therefore, they just made assumptions. And that's where those biases come from, is unfortunately the worst of the worst experiences. It's just, you know, people just make assumptions because in some cases they are correct, and in some cases they're just not. Should they be applied across the board unilaterally? No, not necessarily. But that's also why I don't do that job. There's a reason.
America, whole lot of gang shit. America, whole lot of gang shit. America, whole lot of gang shit. Gang, gang, gang.
I mean, humans are tribal, period. They tend to, and I say that in the most not scientific, but sociology type respect. People are tribal. They find their tribe. They find their family, their community, their locality, their book club, their, you know, color guard, their band, you know, people, their, rap fans or artists, their fan bases and metal or rock or whatever the case may be, they find their people. And in normally in my life, those are all based on just like stuff that I choose, not on things that have nothing to do with anything else, like hair color and stuff. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, humans are very tribal. They find their people because that's how you get along, right? You find your people.
My name's James and I'm in the clan. My family been down for a 4-generation span. It's not about the hatred, man, it's love for our nation, the white place. So we took savages and enslaved and tamed them in these white threads, as hereditary as this white skin. I ain't have a say soon as I was of age, I was in. And if I have to, I resort to violence, cause they try shine colors in a country made for white men. And we're poor too. Boo-hoo, all of you lefties complain about your oppression and pain, while all of these Mexicans came and take all our jobs and our lanes. And I don't blame corporatist games, cause I want the spoils and fame. I could have more too, that could be me one day. That's why I love Trump, cause he see my way. We gon' make America white again. Cause I don't wanna compete with people who work harder than me, cause we all spited them. And if I consider that how we living is wrong, that would mean that I would have to concede that the sale and beating of those bodies was uncalled for. That it was all the murder and rape that got us these Sundays at the golf course. That we as heinous as they try to make us out to be, why would I even try? There's nothing in it for me to not treat it as a lie. So far as I'm concerned, all the blacks, Jews, and the gays, and the Muslims, and the Mexicans can leave or die. I do it all for the clan. These are my brothers, they understand me, and we all understand each other. Don't tell me that our fathers and mothers should be ashamed. I'm riding out forever for my gang, 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 gang. I'm just riding for my gang, gang.
Obviously, the chorus is coming in. Obviously, this is, I disagree with anyone that comes in with this whole I am better than you because of something that I had nothing to do with. Like, if you're intelligent and you think you're smarter than other people and you can prove your intelligence, then fine. But something that is you have nothing to do with how you're born and what you look like when you're born. You have nothing to do with that. So I don't know why that's like claimed as like, oh, I'm just so wonderful. It just doesn't make sense. And I was telling somebody literally today, I was having a conversation and I was like, it must be really stressful and tiring to be so hateful on every side. Politically, racially, any type of just hate for someone else based on these ridiculous reasons has got to just be wearing people out. And you wonder why people are depressed and have mental health issues, because they're focused on the wrong things. I mean, I don't have the time in my day to give two shits about a lot of the characteristics and reasons that people are hating on each other from all sides. I get hate often as well, just because I'm me, and I get you're a woman, you don't know what you're talking about. I get all kinds of stuff. None of it's excusable. It doesn't make sense. And now the only thing that I will say is that being raised in a culture, surrounded by that culture, it's like the same with a cult, and the same with like some religions and things, that people were raised in that's all they know, that's what they've been taught, that's what you have people from and this is no shade on any of the religions, but like LDS or other people look at it and they're like, I don't know if I agree with that. And you're like, technically, with polygamy, which is not like normal. I'm just saying, like, you see it on TV shows, let's just say. And I know I'm talking a lot, get over it. And you see stuff like that and you're like, oh, how could you? Well, they were raised that way. Their parents were that way. It doesn't matter. That's all they know. And they've been told that their survival, their salvation is based on these beliefs. And without these beliefs, they either won't survive or they won't have salvation. And those are the two things that people will fight for, is their salvation and their survival. And so a lot of cults and big groups like this will pull people in by saying the only way you're going to survive and not be wiped off the planet is if you go against this or against that. That's how they get you kind of like hooked in. And then if you're raised in it, once you know better and have the opportunity to know better and then you choose it, then it's on you. But I wouldn't hold it against like the kids and stuff. Like, that's all they've been taught. They've been indoctrinated since they were kids. Anyway, that being said, I know I'm talking a lot. The original's in the description if you're sick of me yammering.
Gang, 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 gang. I'm just riding for my gang, 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 gang. I'm just riding for my gang, 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 gang. America, whole lot of gang shit. America, whole lot of gang shit. America, whole lot of gang shit. Gang, 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 gang. My name Marcus and I'm in the feds. I've been locked up for 4 years and 6 is left. I got 10 for armed robbery shit, and honestly, I ain't even want to do it. And it's hard not to get depressed. I'm dying here. Was banging colors since a youngin'. Was born into a gang cause of the block that I grew up in. I done seen many die and a few folks kill. But when the world won't give you nothing, shit, you gon' steal. And my gang was all I knew. Brothers amongst the madness, drugs and death all around us, and we was angry and callous. The gang shit was all we had. We made mistakes and were misled. But why my gang got me in jail, yours got you home in bed. Riddle me that. My skin black, as simple as that. The hatred you both got for me is all written in fact of our institutions. You confused and feel like getting me back. For what? For living poor in conditions that's whack? You claim that I strike fear in you, but what you feel is you. For me to live how you call clean and be a miracle. The data's empirical. You hate it when my people march for me, but don't you too scream cause you feel they ain't hearing you. Shit, your whole premise is false, but I won't waste no time trying to break your prejudice walls. Point is, we all on some gang shit, loyal to what we taught, believing what was passed down, our community's theme of thought, and I'm the only one in cuffs for it. If I get out a better man, I'm still fucked for it. You turn the TV on and look, you got Trump for it. The president is in your gang, bitch, and you still pointing me to blame. Should I pray that when I get out, shit ain't all the same, but it's a cold world to be alone. And when the whole place that you grown and treat you like dogs in the rain, shit, I might fuck around and call gang. Gang, gang, gang. I'm just riding for my gang, gang, gang.
I'm gonna let it play out, and then I'll comment.
Gang, 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 gang. I'm just riding for my gang, 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 gang. America, whole lot of gang shit. America, whole lot of gang shit. America, whole lot of gang shit. Gang, 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 gang.
He's hard. Okay. So about that third verse, here's my thing. They said a lot of things that were exactly what I was saying just a little bit ago. When you're raised a specific way, when you're raised, to that this is your alternative and this is, how a lot of these things are like that they're talking about are generational. Have you noticed like police, they tend to be generational. The KKK, they tend to be generational. And then people that are like institutionalized, they tend to be generational as well. Poverty is generational. Like and the worst thing to me is that some generations and some parents, and I see this, like I saw this, for example, in the panhandle of Florida, white families, they generationally lived in poverty. They either owned part of the town or they were like meth heads, and that's how it was. And here's the thing though, that's just life. That's just life. And they're accepting it. That's just how life is. And life just dealt us a shitty hand. My cat just scared the shit out of himself and about knocked everything over. Sorry about that. He scared me. Get down. Get down, Felix. You'll see him over here in a second. Get. Okay, sorry about that. He scared the shit out of me. But what I'm saying is that in those personal experience that I witnessed with families that, I interacted with and like consistently, they just were like, well, we were dealt a shitty hand, and they were like, and we're being crapped on and we're never going to get better. And they would raise their kids this way. They would just, for lack of a better way to put it, teach their kids that this is just how it is. It's just how it is. You're being shit on and you're never going to do better, and go work at Dollar General. And that's just how it is. They didn't encourage their kids to go to college. They didn't encourage their kids to get better education. They didn't encourage them to go for scholarships. They didn't encourage them to travel or do anything. It was just, nah, we just stay here. That's how it is. And it's generational because that limits and suffocates some of the kids, wanting, like, they don't know any different. They don't know there's something else out there. As far as they're concerned, the only thing that there is poverty or theft or poverty and drugs, or like there's no way out. There's no way forward, and I don't believe in any way, shape, or form at this point that, in my experience, and I can only speak for myself, in my experience, and it's kind of cool because a lot of people I talk to, I have no idea what they look like. I have no idea if they're, what race they are, what gender they are, or where they're from in the world. They could be all over the world. I talk to people everywhere. And it's great because they're all the same. They're all just people, right? Some people I get along with, some people I don't. Does it have anything to do with them and, their religion, their color of their skin, their, their hair type, or their weight, or no, none of it. Sometimes they just have a bad fucking attitude and I don't want to hear it. So that's how I live my life. It's not just online, but in person. I don't care. If you're a decent person, then great. I encourage people to get out there and change their stars and to move forward and do better. I love watching when people get out of cults, when they kind of expose all of the lies that they were shown for all of those years, where you kind of get to see insight into kind of how they are indoctrinated and how they raise their children. Like, basically you can indoctrinate one group, and then generationally they indoctrinate their children. They isolate them, and they always live by their own rules. And each of these three groups lives by their own rules. They have their own priorities, their own, set of what's right and wrong, and their own biases, right? And these are just three examples. There are many, 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 many more. I just think that life is too short to hate on anyone else. I think that, glass house throwing stones, that whole spiel, that whole cliche. I think that I have no room to talk half the time about, I don't want to say stay in my lane. I don't comment on things I don't understand, but I'm pretty smart and I do understand a lot of things. Do I feel like I have any right to talk on someone else's experience? Probably not. And I won't. But if you sit there, and I've said this before, like when someone introduces themselves by an identifier, I am a insert sexual orientation, insert gender, insert race, immediately that is how they introduce themselves. I kind of tune them out. I don't care who they are. I don't care what the defining factor is. I don't care if they're white, yellow, purple, green, cupcake, man, woman, cat. I don't care. If they say I am and they introduce themselves in that manner, I no longer validate what they're saying because they're leading with the wrong thing, in my opinion. Anyway, that was a really long rant. I didn't expect this. I had no idea what I was in for. Woohoo! I'm glad I didn't do this on the live stream. I'm glad that I had an opportunity to kind of sit back so I could just kind of absorb it a little bit. This reminds me a little bit of Racism by y'all know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about, where he does the two perspectives, right, against each other. This didn't kind of go the same way I thought it would, but it really kind of didn't, and it is what it is. So there you go. Take from it what you want. Take from it the understanding that everybody in their own way is, part of some type of tribe. It's just how it is in these cases. Anyway, that being said, I'm just rambling now. Super awkward and unprofessional outro. I hope you enjoyed this. Check out the original. Go support the artist as always. And thank you for the request. Sir Burrito. I can't roll my R's. Let me know what you think in the comments. I don't expect to get all positive comments, but I really am interested in what you have to say. So please feel free to put in there, be respectful to each other and to me, and I'll be respectful back. It's all good. So that being said, I love you guys. Have an amazing day. And remember, you are valid and you do matter, and don't let anyone tell you differently. And remember, you are more than your past, and your past should not define you. It just kind of, it's just where you come from. It's not where you're going. That being said, I'm out of here. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'm out. Damn, that was heavy.